Okay, I thought we got off to a great start. Give Bryant credit. Going into the game, we knew they were good. They were athletic. They averaged 9 threes a game, 47 rebounds. Beat Buffalo by 35 or whatever it was. So we knew we were in a game. The 2 losses that they had were by a total of 3 points. So we knew. We thought this was going to be the best team that we have played so far. And I thought we got off to a great start, got up by 20, and then we just went into a little bit of a funk. And that's something that we got to try to prevent. We need to have more consistency. And, our offense isn't going to be perfect all the time, but our defense has to be there. And when you're not scoring, you better defend. And we stopped defending for 5 to 6 minutes. And like I said, give Bryant credit. They cut into the lead, and I think it was at 6 at halftime. But I thought our guys did a good job of, talking about what we needed to do in the second half, and coming out in the first 5 minutes of the second half were critical. And I thought we took control of the game there, and it was just back and forth. And, we got to get better. End of the shot clock stuff. We got to do a better job rebounding. We had 13 turnovers, which is unacceptable. But we made, the last 3 minutes, we executed decently. Not perfect, but we did a decent job there. And, I thought Noel, I thought that the advantage that we had was inside with Noel. They weren't, big guys or athletic guys, but they weren't big guys. And so, the game plan was to try to go get the ball to Noel, and I thought Noel really did a really good job of finishing, and that's what we need Noel to be doing. So it was a good win. It was a good win against a good team, a good, well-coached team.
With Noel, what does he have to do to really develop that consistency inside and become more of a force as the season?
Well, I thought he's playing well. I don't know what he had last game, 15 or 18. And Noel's got to do that physical stuff, and he has the body, and, get 22 and 7 with 4 offensive rebounds, a plus 20. So, Noel's getting there. He was never, the go-to guy when he was at GW. He was never the go-to guy, last year, but, he's learning that role, and he's embracing it, and he's getting better, and we need him to do that.
Yeah, you guys, won the battle in points in the paint, but lost the rebounding battle. What did you see there, and where did you find?
Yeah, we got to do it. We lost the offensive rebounding battle. They had us by, I think, 7 at halftime. I thought Timberlake does. He's a hard guard because he's a power point guard, and they post him up. And I thought Chance did a decent job. It's almost like as coach, when you're watching tape and trying to figure out the game plan, the question you have to ask yourself is, do you allow Timberlake to go 1-on-1 in the post, or do you double? And if you go 1-on-1 and maybe foul trouble, he may score a lot. But if you double him now, he's going to kick it out, and they average 9 threes a game. So we decided to play him straight up. And I thought Chance did a really good job. The thing that he does a good job at, Timberlake, is rebounding his own miss. And he had a number of them, 2, and he's quick. So we just got to do a better job. And same thing with Kramer. Just quick off their feet, and a lot of times they got putbacks. 2 and 3 at a time. So something we need to work on. We can't get out rebounded. That's one of the things that we take pride in.
You talked about after Mansfield, you guys need to force more fouls, get more guys drawing fouls. You did that in the first half. Brian kind of did that back to you guys in the second half.
Yeah, I thought we did a decent job. We only fouled 13 times, which is not bad. It's probably a B. And they fouled 14 times. We gotta be more aggressive, taking the ball to the basket, getting fouled. I thought we go 13 for 16 from the foul line, which is important. And we just gotta, like I said, we just gotta continue to improve. We can't be satisfied being 6-0, and we got a long way to go. It's just, we got to improve. We can't listen to the noise and everybody talking about how we're 6-0 and this and that. It's the next game. We got to prepare for the next game.
Yeah, you guys had you mentioned the good start you guys had.
Mm-hmm.
After Mansfield, you guys aren't really a shooting focused team. How happy were you with that shooting?
Yeah, we shot the ball 8 for 14 from threes. That's a good percentage, and we can probably take a few more of those. But sometimes you don't want to get into the mid-20s. But going 8 for 14 and shooting 57%, I'd take that, the rest of the year if we could do that. But, our guys are working at it, and, we got decent shooters. And sometimes, you get in slumps, and, a lot of times, after 5 or 6 games, it's not, there's not enough numbers, enough games to really look at and say, we're going to be a good or bad, 3-point shooting team.
Yeah. You mentioned the good start of the second half.
Yeah.
Right? I thought Leger Jones was a big part of
Yeah, he did. He had a big block. He had a couple buckets. That's not just him, but everybody has to be engaged. They got to be committed. And I thought we were, at the beginning of the game. I thought we took a little bit of a step back in the middle of that first half, but I thought we gathered ourselves, and Leger was a part of that.
You're going to Orlando, the end of the week for the MTE, but what do you want your team to accomplish or gain from these next 2 opponents? One's Utah State, the next could be.
Yeah, we're trying to celebrate this one. But I haven't watched anything at Utah State, but I've seen them a little bit on ESPN. They're really good. It's a great mid-major tournament. Utah State, they just beat Iowa last night or 2 nights ago. They averaged, well into the 90s. They can really score. In Northern Iowa, we played them twice already in the last, 3 or 4 years. And North Texas is another, high mid-major program. So it's a high mid-major tournament, and we're just worried about the first game, and we'll go to work tonight against, getting ready for Utah State. They're a really good team.
Why are these MTEs important, especially kind of with this?
It's just extra games, and you have a chance to play good teams on a neutral court. And those neutral courts, that's like playing in the Atlantic 10 tournament. So it gets our guys used to more comfortable playing away from home against a really good team. You don't want to play those teams at their place. You want to try to play them on a neutral site, and so we have an opportunity to do that, and hopefully we can play well.
Any others?
You guys had 4 guys in double-figure points tonight.
Yeah.
How important was that spread?
Yeah, 4 guys in double figures, and DeSante had 8, and Jonah had 9. So we almost had 6 guys. That's good to see. We're not going to have one guy. If you look at the scoring, and first couple of games, I think Chance was the leading scorer, and today was Noel, and it's always going to be someone different. And I think that's the strength of our team. We don't have that one guy that's going to get us 25 every night. We're going to do it collectively, and it's good to see that we have different guys stepping up on different evenings.
First up, for either player, what does it take for this team to open the season 6-0? What has gone into the start?
It takes good coaching. It takes a lot of dedication and practice every day, and it just takes a team effort, to be honest. I don't know if you guys noticed, but over the spread of a few games, the points will be spread out over player to player to player, and begins on defense. So honestly, I think it just begins with an identity that starts with hard work.
You had a career best 22 points, Noel. You scored in double figures a few games this season. How do you need to continue that consistency, over especially the next few games?
Honestly, I chop it up to my team. They get me in the right spots. They help me. They make the job so much easier. And then when the other team sucks in on me on defense, they're in the right spots to kick it out, and they just make it so we punish them either way. So I think it just takes a consistent, aggressive mindset. But it's bigger than me. It's my teammates. They honestly get me in the right spots, and they make the buckets easy. So.
Melvin, how important was Noel's inside presence and your team's inside presence today?
Oh, it was very important. We work on it in practice. A lot of people don't know that I'm going to give the secret out on Noel. He comes back late night to work on paint touches and stuff like that. So it looks easy, and then we always tell him that we're going to run through you. Offense, we got to get you a touch before we do anything, and that's what we try to do every game.
Melvin, you started the game. I think it's only until about 6 minutes left in the first half. You hadn't missed a shot from the field. I just wanted to get your thoughts on the energy you bring to the start of these games. You get the crowd involved, and it clearly helps your game as well on the court.
I mean, I know Barry Evans was coming back, so I wanted to attack first before Bryant get out and Barry started to hit and stuff. So that's really was my mindset coming in the game.
What exactly, do you know exactly what happened with the Barry Evans situation? What was your point of view on the technical foul?
Oh, I mean, he scored a bucket, and he was just talking to our bench. That's really it. But you know, we expect that to come when like he's fuel to the fire. So we expect that to happen.
Did he say anything in particular to you guys?
Oh no, me. He
That's
just
remarkable.
said, Melvin, you know how I get. You know, no, you. Yeah.
And so what was that like playing against your former teammate, or not your former teammate, but your former teammate, Noel? What was that moment like? What was this game like?
It was really cool. I was super excited. Last year, I came from GW, and I got to have a homecoming similar against one of my best friends, James Bishop, who's at GW. And it's kind of the emotions that go into the game. It's like there's really nothing better than competing against someone who like you love. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're on this team, you want this homecoming, you want to win this game. I'm on this team, I want to defend the home court. Like I didn't want you to leave, this kind of thing. So it's once in a lifetime thing, and like when I have pictures on the court together and stuff, like it's phenomenal. It's like it's a great experience.
So is this 6-0? You're 6-0 now. I mean, this has got to give you some unreal confidence, you know, since this is the best record that Bonaventure's had since 1973-74 season. How's that feel?
Honestly, we're just dialed in on the next game. I mean, we are 6-0, but we still think we have so much more work to do. Our metric isn't really measured against our record. And Coach oftentimes talks about the scoreboard doesn't determine a win or a loss. So in our heads, we really just have like a lot of work to do and a lot to chip away at before like we're a team where we think we're this or that. Like we have a lot more to build, and that's just gonna take practice.
Yeah.
Melvin, your team, you know, gave up a 15-1 run at the end of the first half. What did Bryant do to get back into the game at that point, to make it a 46-40 halftime score?
We know coming into the game it was gonna be a run. We just started playing one-on-one game, and that's really how they came back. It was knocking down open shots, and they was running back, and we wasn't getting back on defense. So that's how they cut the lead down.
Noel, what was, after that 15-1 run, what was kind of your message as a captain and coach's message in the locker room to just kind of rally together and be like, hey, we can totally come out here in the second half?
In the locker room, the first thing to talk, I just said, we just got to lock in on defense. Like, when we come out, we just got to come out the gate. It's second half, like, no excuses. The first half is done. Like, locking on the second half, it starts with defense. And I asked Mel, because Melvin sets the tone. I don't know if you guys can tell with his defense, but he really does set the tone with his defense. Or, like, Melvin, it starts with you. And we just got to all lock in on defense. Like, let's just focus on defense, focus on defense, focus on defense. Everything else handles itself. Like, as you've seen, we have, like, points down the line. Like, we'll score on offense, but defense was that main mentality. And then coach makes those X's and O's adjustments, let us know where we're getting beat, where we might not see. But our mentality is we really got to step up, we got to punch back, and we really got to like, come out the gate with defense, energy like the first half.
And Melvin, we all know you love to play that like up-tempo, fast-paced game, but how important is it to kind of balance that up-tempo game with possessions where you want to slow it down and find Noel in the paint?
I mean, like I said before, our offense run through Noel, so I got to make sure he get a touch. If he don't get a touch, then you know he's not gonna play defense for us, and we need our big guy. So I'm adjusting to it real quick, real fast, but at the end of the day, it's gonna work out.
Noel, you guys had 46 points in the paint tonight. You had 22 of them. You guys mentioned the good coaching. Was the size difference you guys had, or you specifically had over Bryant, kind of the game plan go to you guys in the paint, or was that just sort of something that you guys figured out on the court?
It was definitely a forte of our game plan, and coach had let me know before. He's like, we got to go inside, you got to dominate inside, you got to score inside, you got to go inside, you got to go inside, you got to be on P's and Q's. They can double, they can do all this kind of stuff, you got to be able to finish. So this past week we were just like preparing for Bryant, and like one of the main emphasis was getting inside.
Anything else for student athletes?
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.